I want to bring on my guest live from Western Europe, the man who needs no introduction, but I'm really excited to have him on here because I feel like he's more. No, 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 no. Stop with all the modesty. I feel like he's one of these guys that had such a meteoric rise to, we could call it internet celebrity, but in terms of the online beat licensing space, he's one of the top guys right now. And people like him are always a little mysterious. So the fact that I get to talk to people like him face to face, or people like Othello, or whoever, is just a really cool experience. And I appreciate, and now I'm talking directly to you, but I appreciate you for coming on and having this conversation in front of a live audience and sharing your story with us.
Thank you for having me. No problem.
What time is it over there?
It's like 9 o'clock in the evening.
Okay, well then I appreciate you for doing this so late at
No
night.
problem.
So let's kick things off. We're gonna have some questions coming in live. Some of them might be inappropriate because Bufo is in the chat and he's notorious for that. So I'll filter out some of the questions and we'll get right into the ones that I think will add to the conversation. Not that he asks any super crazy questions. Every now and then he does. So starting off, how long have you been making beats?
Not that long actually, like around 4 years, I would say.
Okay.
I started on an app, and a friend of mine brought me an Ableton crack like one day, and then I started making it like more serious.
So
But
you're an Ableton producer.
yes, exactly.
I'll be damned. Like I would have guessed FL.
Yeah, no. Yes, the most common one, but Ableton was the first DAW I seen, so yeah, that's what I went with.
Have you tried other DAWs, or are you just so in tune with the way Ableton works that you're going to stick with it?
I tried FL Studio once because I thought it would be better for hip hop production. For some, it was like at the very start of me making beats, um, but I couldn't handle it. Like every time I click like the right click, everything disappears. I was very frustrated like after an hour, and then I never use it again.
Got it. Do you have any favorite plugins in Ableton?
In Ableton, yes, like the compressors are pretty dope. Like the parallel compression is dope. Glue compressor is dope. There's a cool stereo widener in there, and the basic EQ is also pretty good. Actually, the most plugins I use are stock from Ableton.
There are some really good Ableton tutorials out there. Are you a fan of any particular Ableton users, like a decap or anybody out there that has kind of shown you how to use that program when you first started?
No, not really. I was actually never really tutorial guy. I used to watch Sari, that's a dude, and WAV Ninja, I think. But there was like a few videos maybe. I never really had like a tutorial guy I watched regularly, for example. So I couldn't really point to one.
So you mostly just went in and experimented and learned it just by using
Exactly.
it.
Yes, I'm pretty sure I do a lot of things extremely wrong, but I never had anybody that showed me uh, how to do certain things. So I just experimented, and yeah, some stuff I do, I think it's pretty wrong, but as long as it turns out sounding good, I'm good to go with it.
Hey, that's a key. Uh, so you started uploading beats about 3 years ago, according to your YouTube channel. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay. And it wasn't until about 11 months ago that you had a beat on YouTube really go viral and surpass 500,000 views. That's a beat named Masked. Why do you think that beat was so successful?
I still don't know. I That's very weird because at one point I was not happy with my YouTube channel. I did this like more like a hobby, not really serious, not regularly, and I then tried to make the switch to upload regularly and very high quality. And I was told by friends that if you do that, one video will go viral someday. And it was never the ones I expected to go viral or to be successful. It were always the ones I almost didn't upload. So I think at one point when you bounce out so many beats, you lose like the objective ear for it. You don't really even know if it's like super cool or if it's just cool for producers. So yeah, I still don't know why that beat. A lot of people liked it. That's the answer probably.
Is that part of the reason? Because you tweeted something, I think within the last 2 days, about how you just weren't sure if you were on the right path. It was something kind of vague, but also something that a lot of producers were bringing to my attention because they wanted me to ask you about it because it was something they related to. What
Yeah.
what is that? Does that play into not knowing exactly kind of what beats are working because you don't have that objective ear, or is it something totally separate?
Yeah, it's kind of relates to the topic. I think when I wrote that, I was stuck with another like lack of inspiration. I was frustrated and decided to tweet, even though like I don't know, it's not helpful to just put that helpless negative energy out. But I don't know, sometimes you can't help yourself and just tweet like frustration. Um, anyways, but yeah, I think that's the hard part to sustain and keep working and keep creating, even though you don't know if your stuff is actually good right now, or if even if you're not super happy with it, you know. So yeah, it's pretty related to that topic, I would say.
So for you with uploading consistently, that's what led up to your beat going viral, just a consistent schedule of uploads and
Yes,
higher quality uploads.
yes. As I said, I upload for some time, but mostly for fun and not even with a goal. I only signed up with BeatStars like 2 years ago. Um, and before that, I just have uploaded beat just for fun. I just wanted to have like feedback or attention or someone to talk to about music production, because in my city I was the only one I knew uh, that actually made like hip hop beats, trap beats, or anything like that. And I always lacked that. That's why I like the online route. So I think after my first beat already, somebody wrote me like, "Hey, would you collab?" and all that. And it was like after a year or so, I this saw some other videos, and I decided that I need to step up my game if I want to compete with these other fire producers on YouTube.
So what changed after that video went viral? Did you start seeing an increase in sales? Did you start seeing, did it encourage you to continue going forward?
Yes, it pretty much showed me that it's possible. And when one of your videos like reaches a benchmark that no video before has reached, then basically like the whole YouTube growth thing right now works by constantly beating your benchmarks, your numbers. Like your highest ranking video, you have to top that all the time, and then like your clicks in a time period and your retention has to go up like permanently. If it does, YouTube's gonna recommend your videos like crazy. So when I saw that one video like does these crazy numbers, that motivated me for the first time, because before that I felt kind of invisible. I didn't know, like I uploaded beats, but nothing happened, nothing really much, no big numbers, nothing really like it was pretty much this all the time. It was pretty steady. It wasn't like rising or anything. So that was kind of demotivating. But when that video you were talking about did these numbers, that was really yeah, inspirational and gave me a lot of ambition to top that, and that's what I did.
And it looks like that beat that we're talking about you sold exclusively.
Yes.
Do you regret selling it exclusively?
Like a month after it, yes, because there was a lot of offers coming in and that were even better than the offer I took. But now in the long run, no, I'm I'm good. You know, you do some things, everything about this whole online beat selling stuff is pretty much try and error, and you have to make certain experience to avoid them in the future. That's pretty much it. So yeah.
What's your stance on exclusive sales? Do you try to avoid them now that you're licensing more non-exclusive beats, or are you open to exclusive sales?
It depends. Like if I see a video is just to related to non-exclusive licensing is doing like 1K a month on income, you know, it doesn't make sense to sell it for 1K or 1.5K, you know. But at the same time, money is not that important to me. I want to have like a catalog of songs I'm proud of. So if I have an artist who says, "Yeah, well, I need this exclusive, otherwise the label or anything won't take it," but we all can only do 2,000 or anything, and at the same time, this beat is not like super important to me to have it to license it to non-exclusively, then I'm good to go with an exclusive sale. Like it always depends on the situation.
Sure. Uh, After you started, so you said you've only had BeatStars for about 2 years. After you first signed up with BeatStars and started selling beats online, how long did it take you to make your first sale?
That was funny because I had occasionally people wanting to buy something from me before I signed up to BeatStars already, but it was all manual. I had to send stuff out after they paid me and stuff like that. I even did non-exclusive licensing, kind of like BeatStars does. Or, but yeah, the moment I think before that, before I signed up with BeatStars, I made like 200 to 300 euros or $500 um, from music, and I was on Track Train. I had like 10 beats up or anything like this, the free model one. And then I switched to BeatStars. I wanted to go serious with this beat selling stuff when I feel ready for it, when I really can upload beats regularly, because I wasn't good enough before it. Anyways, after I signed up with BeatStars, I think I made my first $1,000 in the month I signed up on BeatStars, right on the first month. And it was like 5 to 6 leases and like one exclusive that was there was 4 digits, something along $1,000, and that was huge to me at that time.
So you said something interesting. You said you didn't start getting serious about licensing beats online because you weren't that good at the time. When did you feel that you were ready? What changed in your process that showed you that it was time for you to really take this seriously?
Yeah, as I said, like before that, I uploaded mostly for fun, and I didn't even know about online beat selling. Like my friend Dejan Beats, he told me about it, and I couldn't believe what he was saying, that people were making like a big amount of money from their hobby. So and then I started looking up some guys, some people I like musically, some people I like more like business wise. Anyways, um, and I saw that like musically they are way ahead of me. Like they have a way cleaner mix, super boomy low end, and everything I like about hip hop and or hip hop music production. And yeah, that's when I took like 2 months off of uploading and just focused on my mixing, on my like on I just tried to create a more clean product. Um, and shortly after that, I also sped up my frequency of uploading, and that's that. And I said to myself, like, if I do this for 6, 7, 8 months and nothing is happening, then I'm gonna treat this as a hobby, like I did before. But I think that is the route that actually could make it successful and make it also and also make it like very profitable. And yeah, that's what I tried. And I think after 6 to 7 months, I suddenly saw like all these results. And yeah, I'm pretty happy I did did it.
At the time when you decided to give yourself, you know, that 6 month timeline, did you have a job? Were you in school?
I was in law school. I was That was the point. I was about to graduate, like 1 month before I signed up on BeatStars. No, 2 months after I signed up on BeatStars, I was writing my final exam in law school, and I said to myself, "Yeah, you spent all this time here. You should maybe focus like on your career, on studying and all that." And that's why I said to myself, you know, if you spend so much time on this, at least do it like seriously and try to maximize what you put into it. And yeah, I had Carl Jr. He's also on BeatStars, a very fire producer. He gave me some tips um, on how to like organize yourself and present yourself on your channel and your whole musical catalog, and that helped a lot.
So did you end up finishing law school or did you quit to
No,
focus
I
on beats?
graduated. I graduated, but um, yeah, it was pretty great. I graduated and then I had the time to focus on music completely, and that also helped a lot.
What were some of the tips that this other producer gave you that you would say really helped transform your whole process to the point where you're able to make all that
Yeah,
progress?
he was very successful at the time, getting views on his channel, and we were working together. And I asked him one day if he can give me some tips. And what he explained to me was pretty much what Anne Chamberlain explained on Producer Grind too. My channel before was very all over the place. There were all kinds of type beats, all kinds of artists, like R&B type beats from Bryson Tiller, then all hard beats to, I don't know, Migos. Like almost every artist was featured on my channel because it was a channel I made for fun, you know. I just wanted to show some beats and learn during the process, and I didn't focus on anything. And he said, you know, you're a brand, you have to focus on something. And yeah, that's also what Anne Chamberlain explained. If you try out a variety of beats and you see one style of beats blowing up, getting views, getting retention, then focus on that because people want to see that from you. YouTube, um, the YouTube growth works around the idea that you have to find an audience and constantly impress that audience. So by only like making one style of beats or aesthetic, YouTube it makes it easier for YouTube to box you in and suggest your product to like the right people, you know.
Sure.
And that's what I try to form my channel into. Not like completely one-sided. I wanted it to make more diverse, but all within a certain aesthetic. Because I saw some channels that focused like on one style, and that one style became unpopular, and then the channel immediately died after it. That's why I tried to like switch it up a little bit and try to make it more sustainable, I would say.
Okay,
But
I
yeah,
want to talk about that shortly because that's a really
no
difficult
problem.
balance to achieve, and you have to kind of be forward thinking and really pay attention to trends. Here's a question from Bufo that isn't inappropriate. So he's asking about the first $1,000 that you made when you first signed up to BeatStars. Did that first 1,000 come from people that you already knew? Was it YouTube traffic or was it just marketplace pro page?
It was, I think, it was pretty mixed. Some non-exclusive leasing sale was from YouTube, but most of it was actually from BeatStars. And the guy that bought my beat exclusively for more than $1,000, there was somebody I never heard of. And before that and after, I was just super happy that somebody would pay so much for my beat at
So
that
you didn't
point.
get playlisted or anything like that. It
No,
was
no, no.
all organic. Wow.
I had less than 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I think.
On YouTube, okay, and
Yeah.
you're close to 100,000 right now, right?
Yes. I
So
think I had 8,000 subscribers at the start of the year, so it went pretty fast. Like yeah.
well, that's good. So you started 2020 with 8,000, and you're probably going to start 2021 by hitting that 100,000 benchmark. Okay. So since you graduated law school and decided to focus on making music your main source of income, you haven't had any other job. You're just 100% a music producer, right?
Yes, right now.
Okay. And that's
Before that,
going well.
I had like, yes, that's going well. I had little jobs, but nothing serious. I was like working at a gas station or working as a waiter, but it was all during law school just to make some money to pay your rent, but nothing really where I tried to establish a career or anything.
When you were in law school, what specialization did you focus on?
On financial law, like stock markets, stuff like that. I like that because it's always about a huge amount of money. I'm kidding.
Well, okay, but that's a good question. So um are you investing a lot of your income right now? Is that part of your overall financial strategy?
No, not a huge part. I'm actually right now figuring out um like how much taxes I have to pay and all that.
Oh,
I'm currently
shit.
in uh in in yeah, in discussion with the German government, all that. Yeah, but besides that, I invested like a little in Bitcoin and made some money in there too, but in traditional stocks, not yet. I'm not an expert on this. I just tried out investing a little bit, but it's more like a hobby. It's not. I don't have an idea what I'm doing, to be honest.
So, okay, a lot of producers starting out selling beats online are really paralyzed by the fear of the music business, specifically the legal side, whether it's copyright and intellectual property law, whether it's the fear of lawsuits, just a lot of really extreme hypotheticals that they allow to stop them from moving forward. Does your background in law help at all with your outlook on some of these concerns?
Yeah, a little bit for sure because I know like my basic rights. I know that I don't have to write into my mail, yo, this is my property. If you steal it, I'm gonna sue you or anything. This is like 100% clear when I send that email without like copying that text into it. You know how some producers do. So I don't know. It helps because you understand like where law comes in and all that. But if you're asking me if I can get a contract by a label and read it and yeah, that looks all right and sign it, that's not the case because these type of contracts are especially for entertainment lawyers, even regular lawyers get dragged over these contracts because they have no idea what they're reading. All these terms have a significant meaning, and you have to be like in the scene, in the branch to understand what it actually says.
Yeah, I think that's what the interesting thing about law is. I know that I've had situations when, someone like a rapper or an independent label had a lawyer that was their friend, but he was, a real estate lawyer, or maybe she
Yeah.
was a financial lawyer or something. And then they tried to contact me and talk about music business and say, I'm an attorney. And it's like, yeah, but you don't know anything about music. It's really, it's a different world. I think that's kind of the deceptive part about a law degree. It's not at all encompassing.
Yeah. Yeah, they could rip me everything in my underwear and I wouldn't notice. Some of these contracts are so well written.
Yeah.
You have to get an expert on that, especially if it's like a contract for a song that is probably going to be big.
Okay, so let's talk about songs that are probably going to be big. Number one, congratulations on going gold.
Thank you.
Did you get the
Appreciate it.
plaque already?
No, not yet. I think I have to order it myself, and I want to wait. Maybe that is going to be platinum. Who knows?
Well, hey, get both. Why not? You got. It looks like your wall is kind of empty. You got space, man. So,
It's very empty yet.
let's talk about this. So, way back in December of 2018, you released a beat that ended up getting picked by the comedian Drip Report for a song called Sketches. How did that even happen? How did he find the beat? What was the next step from there?
Um, he just randomly stumbled across it on YouTube. That's the magical game you play when you upload beats to YouTube. You every time you upload a beat, you give it to a lottery, and it can turn out to an amazing situation. Um, and yeah, I think I had the chance to sell that beat before Drip Report contacted me twice for more than $1,000, and I didn't do it because the beat was special to me, and I'm incredibly happy that I didn't do it because in January he contacted me and said, "Yo, I made this song," um, and yeah, and ever since then, I think it gained traction at the end of January, and we had a phone call, and we like each other. We come from a similar background, um, and yeah, we have a good relationship. And I'm super happy about the situation and how popular the song is, and how many people are enjoying it.
Yeah, what was that conversation like? Because is Drip Report signed to a label, or he's doing it all himself?
He's doing it all himself. Um, at that time when we had the call, he was telling me about it that he wanted to make original content, and that also brings the chance to finally make money of his passion, um, and that kind of stuff. I could relate to that a lot, and yeah, because the song got copyright striked first by someone who also used the beat, but we could settle that quick, and yeah, then after the song became um, I think it surpassed like 2 million streams on Spotify. And I told him, "Yo, I'm gonna give you this beat. I like this song, and I think it's going to be big." And yeah, then I pretty much gave the beat to him.
Oh, so he first just used it as a lease, a non-exclusive lease.
Yes, he had a non-exclusive license the
And
first
then
month.
with all of the attention that it got, obviously, well, not obviously, I should ask you, with regard to royalties and master splits and everything, how was that done, and did that uh, benefit you more than selling it for an upfront fee?
Um, he first had that non-exclusive license, and some industry people heard that, and they tried to buy the copyright from me, and they bet like ridiculous amounts of money when they got the idea that this song is going to be huge. So I was in a very good position. Um, but I said to Drip Report, "Yo, I want you to have this," and we basically made a deal where you didn't have to pay a big fee, but where would have a split on the back end. It's basically more like a collaboration. Um,
Okay, so you're getting part of the master too, and
yes,
the publishing. Okay. Yeah, I mean, then that was probably worth a lot more than $1,000, I'm guessing.
yes.
And
It
you've
takes time
had,
until the
sorry, go ahead. It takes
uh,
time for the royalties to actually come through, right?
yeah, exactly. I haven't seen it yet, but my guess is that it is a good number.
Okay, we'll have to do a follow up interview then. You've had a couple beats break 1 million views on YouTube. Angel is one, Baller is another. What did you do to make those beats so successful?
Yeah, actually nothing besides making them and uploading them. I didn't make any big promo or marketing. Um, as I said, it's like this magical lottery that YouTube is. I These beats weren't like the ones I thought to turn out successful. Um, but yeah, this Angel beat, for example, Yukasa sent me that sample, and I made it in like an hour or two, and uploaded it, and almost forgot about it, and then it kept getting views. It was pretty average at start, but it kept getting views. Same with Baller. It was pretty average at first, and then it started getting views out of nowhere because people liked it. I think YouTube rewards it pretty big if it notices that people listen to the beat and like it and turn to it like 3 days later by just searching for it, or I don't know, by going on your channel and going to that exact beat, because YouTube notices, okay, there's a path of behavior that says us that this is a good beat or this is a good video. And yeah, both of these videos have a retention around 150 to 2 minutes. So that's extremely long. That's more than 50% retention. And yeah, I think that's why they get recommended so much and have so many views.
Yeah, that's really good. My average is 1:30, so that's
That's
it's pretty
the
freaking
average
good.
for an average. That's pretty good. That's the same as mine, pretty much.
Well,
But
okay,
because they
let's
are
talk. Let's talk
above the
about that.
average.
So you obviously are familiar with, above average familiarity with the way that YouTube works. Uh, do you consistently check your analytics, and what are you looking for when you check the analytics of a video?
Yeah, I used to do that. Now I try to be a little bit more unbothered by it, but because it shouldn't get to your head too much. But if you want to analyze your YouTube game and develop it, then you should definitely focus on your analytics, and try to make people click and make people listen longer to your beats. That is the key to, as I said, getting recommended more. What was your question? I
Well,
kind of
okay, so how do you how, what's a good way to get people to click on your beats? Because obviously a big part of that is a title, a thumbnail. What do you do to make sure that your videos are effective at communicating something to a person that's just scrolling past them?
um, I choose to saturate my artworks pretty much, so they're very shiny and bright and almost neon. Um, yeah, that's a factor, and I always choose like a thumbnail if that gives me a certain vibe. I make sure that the beat has the same vibe and the artwork has this. No, the artwork has the same vibe and the beat title. That's also something that Kyle told me. He had like a video that was successful, and we were talking about that, and he said it was the beat was called Wait, and I think it was Young Thug was on the artwork, and he was in the studio and had his that spider hoodie on where it says Big Wait. um and I don't know, the vibe of the beat also fit like this whole scenery or anything. I don't know if that's me being spiritual and overly interpreting that, but yeah, I think that all that has to do with the beat's success.
Yeah, I can't. My big viral beat is just a black and white drawing of a piano. I, I don't know, man. Okay, let's move on. So did you ever use Google Ads for your YouTube videos, or has this just all been organic traffic?
No, I wanted to get into it, but then my YouTube channel already took off. So yeah, I never spent money on marketing. I tried like the old BeatStars marketing system, but I didn't notice anything that is to blame definitely for that marketing technique or anything.
So really, your whole strategy is just organic.
Yes.
So someone asked, and maybe some people missed it at the beginning, but you talked about being inspired by a couple producers, including probably a video that most people are familiar with, which is the Ant Chamberlain producer grind interview, where he talked about researching, and I think it was for him, G Herbo type beat. He did a bunch of keyword research, either with, I don't know, TubeBuddy or vidIQ and figured out the low competition, high search volume keywords. And for you, obviously, the keyword that was successful for you was Migos type beat, correct? How
Yes.
did you figure that out?
I didn't do it like Anne Chamberlain. I didn't research which gap was to fill. What I tried is, after I noticed that my channel was all over the place and I had all kinds of styles and basically like no aesthetic that is related to me. I searched for something where I could like put all my content under one category, and I felt like Migos was the most diverse beat picking artist at the time. They use club beats around 100 BPM, then they choose like some up tempo stuff, slow Atlanta type beats, like so all of the variety of beats that I see myself do. So yeah, that was the choice why I picked Migos, so I could just slap Migos type beat on everything I upload. That makes it way easier. And then I would use that tag, that Migos type beat, on every video and increase my chances of it ranking.
Are
That
you
was my
are
thought.
you conducting? Well, it worked. Are you conducting keyword research now at all?
I think it doesn't matter. It only does matter to what keywords you choose for your brand to stand for. Like if you more into R&B beats, you shouldn't like use, I don't know, NLE chopper type beats or anything. But yeah, besides that, you can. I noticed that you can like delete all your tags on your YouTube video, and the video will perform the same way.
Yeah,
Only the title is important
the
at the
the
moment.
title is certainly the most important. I like putting tags just so I can monitor what's working for me, because if a tag is working, I want to continue to use it. But yeah, I think that's a misconception where I've even seen producers comment on my video saying, why are you putting tags in the description? That it doesn't matter. I'm like, yeah, it does matter. What are you talking about? So, whatever. I think there's this idea in the producer community, or just the YouTube community in general, that the tag section is for tags and the title is for something totally separate. But the title is the most important.
Exactly.
You have over 80,000 followers on BeatStars, which is a lot. How did you build up your BeatStars following? Did you use any kind of like free download for a follow, or how did that work?
Yes, I use that option since I'm on BeatStars. So yeah, I never thought about it, but that could be like one factor why I had so much luck, um, you know, getting followers. But especially BeatStars is like I put all my effort on YouTube because I saw more potential on there. But on the way, um, I built such a big platform on BeatStars, and I didn't even notice it a long time. Um, I just noticed that I suddenly had 3,000 followers like in 2 months. I gained them in 2019, and it was so random. And yeah, I don't know. Like considering BeatStars, I definitely didn't had a strategy. I had this um, follow for free download up, but that's it.
Well, it seemed to work. Do you notice? Are you checking where your sales are coming from? Do you notice that most of them are from YouTube, or are a lot of them from BeatStars marketplace searches?
I didn't check for a long time. I have to do it again. But the last time I checked, it was pretty much 50-50 or even more from YouTube.
Yeah, I've noticed too that a lot of people are just now they're going directly to BeatStars to search for beats rather than going to YouTube to search for beats that
Yeah,
direct them back to BeatStars. It's interesting.
yeah. BeatStars is underrated in terms of of directing people to your content. I thought it was just like my platform to sell beats and that's it, and I have to direct people to go there and purchase beats. But it actually turned out the other way around, that people discovered me on BeatStars, and that's why I'm incredibly grateful for this platform.
So I went back and listened to your very first uploaded beat from 3 years ago, and
Don't
I'll
do
be
it.
honest with you. Yeah, well, the it sounded good, and obviously the mixing has gotten a lot better since then. Your drums really hit hard, and your mixes are clear, and there's a lot of space for vocals in them. Uh, and you told me you took 2 months off to really focus on the quality of your beats, and mix quality was one of the biggest elements in that growth. What's the biggest lesson you learned about mixing beats within that time period?
Putting a soft clip on your master. I needed 2 years to get that, or like 1.5 year. Like that changed a lot. And besides that, don't like overdo EQing and effects and all that. If you're if you're happy with the sound, don't change too much. Uh, and yeah, besides that, like bring order into your mix, use high quality samples, use a soft clipper. For more advanced people, like use a soft clipper that mess with the options of the soft clipper and choose your soft clipper of your favorite choice. You know, try out several soft clippers um, that uh, and choose one for your sound, because I think they don't sound the same at all.
So what advice do you give for kick and bass mixing? Because I know you really focus on the low end and the punch of the kick and the width of the bass as well. So what was something that you learned about that since you mentioned it?
Um, I oftenly like edit 808s that I like before, and basically pre-mix them and put them in my own drum kit. And the other point is, especially for kick and 808 combos, um, if you notice that it doesn't sound super clean, try reversing the polarity of the kick or the 808. It can magically solve your mixing problem.
So what equipment do you use for mixing? Do you use headphones, monitors? Do you have a reference sub?
Um, I have super minimal gear. I have only Yamaha HS5s, the smallest ones, because I have a very small room to work in. Um, and yeah, besides that, like an interface, yeah, just the HS5 monitor speakers. That's it.
Oh, so you don't do headphone mixes, you don't use a sub or anything.
No, only when I'm traveling. And I own like on I last time I worked on AirPods.
So do you often listen to tracks that have good mixes and compare them to your mixes to try to achieve a certain level of, gain staging and so forth?
Yes, in that period of time where I tried to find my sound, my way of mixing, that's what I did all the time. I had beats that I liked in terms of mixing. For example, I remember I stumbled across a beat by Getro, and I thought to myself, like, why is this so punchy and so boomy, and the low end is so, I don't know, so crispy. Um, and several other people or beats I've seen that I just liked, and I wanted to have like a similar crunchy, crispy, I don't know, mix. And that's when I started to make beats uh, and export it all the time. Export it, listen to it in the car, on the headphones, on the laptop speaker, on the iPhone speaker. Um, and I did this like 20 times on super basic beats. I just wanted to hear like, especially the kick 808 combo, and yeah, also the melody and other stuff. And like I think after 2 months, I was content with the quality on every device up to the car.
So zooming out a little, what does the process of starting a beat look like for you?
I usually start with the melody, but not all the time, and I'll always try to switch up the process, like um, start with the drums, for example, make something super extraordinary, and then try to find a melody for it. But yeah, when I start with the melody, I usually try to focus on rhythm first, and then I go into harmonies and all that. But besides that, it's just ear. I don't have like a technical approach. I usually just try stuff out until something sticks with me and where I hear like something continuing, you know?
Here's a question for you. With regard to marketing beats, what are some of the mistakes that you see new producers make when they're marketing their beats?
Devaluing your beats by either say, you know, purchase 20 for $20 or something. I think that I see the point. I mean, we were all there. I see the point. You want to make a sale and you make these offers, but the only signal you send is desperation, and you kind of devaluing your product. That's what I would say, but that may be just taste. And also, like I said before, that I didn't market my beats, and that's what I believe in, because I think your product has way more. I don't know how to say it. It just seems way more luxurious um, if you don't rub it in people's faces, you know? Just buy it, you can buy it here. Just put it out there, and if people want it, they're gonna come to you. That's pretty much my my motto.
So you probably answered my question already. So have you don't really ever do paid advertising?
No.
What so beyond just YouTube and beyond uploading beats to BeatStars, what are some other ways that you bring traffic to your brand? Some organic ways that you bring traffic to your brand without, shoving it into people's faces and just trying to close a sale all the time.
That's a hard question because, as I said, I never really tried like any smart marketing moves. For example, Drip Report has like all these ideas for good marketing, and some producers I work with, they have like super creative ways of marketing themselves. But I never had that. I kind of stumbled into this, and I still can't believe like how much happened like with what I did. I don't know. I have to think like if I remember anything specific I've done. Yeah, but I can't name anything right now.
Do you use email lists or anything at all?
No.
Not wow, okay. Do
That like that
you
whole click funneling wave that went over my head. I don't know. Yeah, I never did it. I don't even know how it works.
well with regards to something like the topic of customer service, customer retention, do you have conversations with customers? How do you retain customers? How do you turn one sale into a relationship?
Um, yeah, obviously by being friendly and supportive and valuing that you have people that actually want to purchase your work, like as a big compliment. So you have to be grateful for these people, and uh, like until a few months back, I always try to be like the perfect support you could have if people have any issues with my beats, or anything's not working, or a track out is missing or anything like that. I always try to fix that as soon as possible. But now I'm gonna have to be honest, like I'm um, even I turned out pretty bad in kind of in terms of customer service, because I get so many emails. Like right now, I'm just um, uh, what is it?
Overwhelmed?
Yeah, overwhelmed, and I'm not organized enough, and I don't have enough manpower like to sort out. Okay, this is a serious inquiry for help or for support or anything. and this is just someone who can't read YouTube descriptions. Um, that's like it's really hard like to guess like right now who actually wants help and who is just like bullshitting me or something. And that's happening a lot right now. I have to delete like around 100 emails every day. My email is constantly full. Like it's very hard to live up to that standard that used to have like 4 months ago.
Yeah. Do you ever think that it's going to get to a point where you allow somebody else to parse through your inquiries, and I don't know if it'd be an intern or a significant other or a family member? Do you ever see that happening for you?
I don't know. Right now, I don't see anybody that is competent enough and in the scene enough. Like,
And crazy enough.
yeah, 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 that's true. Yeah, to do that, but in the long term, I have to figure out a solution because this right now, I'm not happy with how it's going and how many people I let down by not being able to respond to everyone because I see people like asking me for 2 months, like, yo, I don't know, can I do this and this? And I actually want to answer, but yeah, the time is just missing.
Yeah, well, that's what's so frustrating about this space that we're in, because it's the DMs, it's the emails, it's the comments, it's I even have a phone number out there that people can text me on, and 90% of all the messages I get are people, either other producers saying, "Hey man, I really love everything you're doing. You're amazing. Hey, listen to my beats and share them and check them out and sell them and help me." It's just like, damn, bro, like I have to go through all this just to get to the people that actually care about what I'm doing to the and it's hard to make a living when it's like most at a traditional job. You go to your job, you do your work, you get paid, right? For us, we're metaphorically speaking, we walk outside and there are people in our faces that we just have to get through them just to get to our job. And then once we're at our job, there are more people in our faces that aren't necessarily there because they want to work with us or do business with us. They're just there to waste our time, and it's hard. I haven't figured out how to balance that. I haven't. I do have my girlfriend helping me with my DMs, because there are just so many, but then it's like she's yelling at me from upstairs saying, "Hey, you haven't answered this DM," or something. It's just, no matter how you look at it, it's always going to be overwhelming. But I'm like you, where I want to help everybody that needs it, and that's something. I never thought making beats would be a customer service position. I thought I was just going to make beats.
Yeah, yeah, same.
How many hours a day would you say you put into this business?
Like just replying to the DMs, emails, and all this inquiries. Yeah, maybe like I try to reduce it to 2 hours a day because um, if I overdo it and like check every time and check my phone every time it rings, for example, then I would have no time for the actual creating and from my family and friends and all that. So it's definitely important like to stack up a limited amount of time that you put into this because it's also a lot of craziness out there. I Since I surpassed 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, I have so many people that just send me links. Like they don't even explain themselves; they just send a link in my inquiries in the DMs, or I don't know, even super rude requests or straight up scams. Like since I surpassed that mark, like there's a lot of just bullshit, and yeah, but a lot of people are also super kind, and sometimes I get mad about all this bullshit in my DMs, but I have to remind myself how grateful I can be for all these people that brought me here, just because I like my music. Like it's super magical, and that's the thing that should outshine everything else.
Man, that sounds like you're in my head. Uh, how
Yeah,
often
I
do you?
noticed
Let's
you
get
have
away from
also
it, because
this.
The psychology part is just so crazy because yeah, it goes between, just like you said, it's like what an amazing job I have to make music that people like enough, to pay me for. On the other hand, why the fuck am I getting death threats every day on my social media? You know what I mean? Why does it have to be these two extremes where it's like
Yeah, I
I
know,
have
I
I have
know.
an amazing life and this person wants to kill me because I interviewed somebody who talked about their keyword strategy. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like it's surreal, man.
Anyway, let's get back to the easier questions. Are you on an upload schedule?
Yes, I try to upload every second day, or at least every third day if I can't live up to that.
I don't know if this que- I don't know if this question is for me. I don't know because my girlfriend's in charge of my DMs, but
Yeah, I see the question.
this is the type of question that I was talking about. Anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
you
I
don't
mean,
have
but
to answer it.
no, it's no problem. I mean, it's let's be honest. It happens more suddenly for some reason. But I got a girlfriend, and I was never interested in like texting and all that and getting to know girls online.
It's dangerous,
I never.
man. People are crazy.
Yeah, yeah, super dangerous. I think like yeah, getting to know each other in person is always better. So I don't care when like girls would text me in Instagram or anything.
Here's a good question. Do you want to answer this?
Um, yeah, I would if I would understand Mandarin.
Yeah, I don't. But that's
You,
impressive that you could discern Mandarin from various other languages with similar characters.
when
What
it's
else?
the science.
So Black Friday's coming up. A lot of people are planning their Black Friday sales strategies. Are you planning any kind of bulk deals or discount codes?
Not yet, but I have to, I think, because I have to give back. I didn't had any sort of these deals yet. At least for the last year, I didn't have anything like that. So I think I'm gonna make one. Um, yeah.
Are you running any bulk deals currently?
Yes, I have uh, three for the price of two bulk deal.
Did you notice an increase in sales once you started with the bulk deals?
Um, no, nothing specific, I would say. But as I said, it's very hard to tell because like every month I make like these changes and these changes and these changes, and sometimes nothing happens and sometimes it does happen. But at the end of the day, you don't know exactly which change to blame for, the success that came. Um, I noticed a lot of people buying exactly three beats, so I assume that it has to do with the bulk deal.
I think this is an easy enough question. Are you German?
Yes, I'm German, or I live in Germany. I'm not necessarily German, but I live here.
Oh, that wasn't an easy question. That was pretty nuanced. Oh, hold on. I didn't mean to. Damn it, man. All right, hold on. Let me get out of there. We're running out of time. I want to respect your time. How do
No
people
problem.
follow you? How do they check out your content on Instagram, YouTube, BeatStars? Where do they go?
My Instagram is at Ouhboy and yeah, my YouTube channel is just Ouhboy, and yeah, I also have a Twitter account I made that last year, just to tweet out bullshit that goes through my head. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't have a big social media appearance or anything. I just made it so I could, text easier and uh, make the contact easier.
Okay, shout out to whoever is behind the BeatStars account right now. Here are all of Ouhboy's social media and Beat Store links. Where did you get? This is a really good question because here's something I noticed. I know that you're kind of, I don't know if this is intentional or you're just modest or whatever, but you're kind of saying that all of your success was by and large accidental and it just happened. Your branding seems to be really intentional, and when it that's the wrong freaking comment. Hold on. Your visual branding is all consistent. Your producer tags are, I would say, exceptionally good and effective because they're memorable. They're not just, a random person saying your name. They're not the run of the mill producer tags. And then in addition to that, your name kind of creates this whole mystique around your sound. So how did you approach your name? How did you approach your producer tag? All of that added to your aesthetic, which is something that you're very conscious of.
Yeah, I mean, the name itself, the Ouhboy name was just a random name I thought of. I thought of I seen an interview with Tyler the Creator, and he said that the word gotta look cool. It don't have to have the biggest meaning or the biggest wordplay or anything else. It just has to look cool, and that's why I picked Ouhboy, and also because I thought that's what people would say if they hear like a great beat, anything like that. Um, and yeah, of course it didn't. Of course, everything wasn't like accidental, but most of it is, and it was like try and error. I just tried out stuff that I thought would work, but I tried out so many things that I can't really trace it down to like that one thing that made the change. That's my problem. And like in terms of aesthetic and visual appearance, what you mentioned, like I picked up that whole ski mask theme like more than 1 year ago, just because I thought that is there's a pool of pictures I could use first. I don't expose anyone to views because the face is covered. It has like this loose connection of to hip hop. It's mostly colorful and has like that art. It often has like that art type of vibe, like um, and yeah, and these were all things that played into something I could see myself embracing as an aesthetic, and that's what I did. And I think like um, this continuing aesthetic is a good thing because people see your thumbnails and immediately trace it down to a specific creator. So that was
Yeah.
helpful, definitely. I would say that's true. And yeah, considering the tags, I have to thank Tezzy Jizzup. He made my this shit banging tag, and it was his idea even, I think, to say that. And the other tags I have like 8, but I only used 3. These are like always snippets I found online. For example, like this conversation tag that I have in some beats that is from an interview by Charlize Theron and Zach Galifianakis,
That's the one where
where
it's a
they have the
dialogue where they say what's his
conversation.
name and then they say
Yeah,
oh boy and
exactly,
it's
exactly.
Ouhboy.
Yes, I cut it up a little, but it's from Between Two Ferns, this like satire show by Zach Galifianakis.
Um, damn, I was gonna ask. Yeah, I wish I asked you this earlier because we are talking about aesthetic, and that's all encompassing. So it's not just your sound; it's your look. And a lot of producers are great at making music, but they're not great at design or we're not always the best in terms of our visual intelligence. Where did you learn that? I mean, are you using Photoshop? What are you doing to create that look, and how did you get to the point where you were able to say, okay, this is the aesthetic I want, this is my vision, I'm actually going to make it a reality?
Yes, as I said, the inspiration came from Kyle telling me that I need like the whole vibe of the video has to match, the beat, the artwork, and then the title. It all has to match, and yeah, that's why I think it just comes down to searching for hours on the internet, on Pinterest, on Instagram, for the right photos, for the right vibe. If you make the beat and you know you're gonna upload it, like search for a picture that kind of mirrors the exact feel that the beat gives you. Um, and what was the last question you asked?
I mean, just
Which
what
program
is your
do
background in yeah? What's your
yeah,
do you
which
have
program
a background
do
in
I
visual
use?
arts?
No, not at all. That was also just try and error. Before that, I used to cut music videos just in a loop, in an 8-second loop, and play it backwards. That's what I did before I chose to use stale pictures. And yeah, I use Premiere for my videos, and in Premiere I can saturate the pictures and crop them and add color to it, and that's what I do. But it's also just try and error. I don't have a single idea of what I'm doing. I'm pretty sure, like technically, I'm pretty sure I do stuff wrong, but you know, I care about the end result, and if I'm okay with that, I'm cool.
Amen. I think a lot of us are doing everything wrong, but it's working. So, who cares? Wrong is just a
One engineer
construct
used to
anyway,
laugh
right?
at me the way I apply compressors. That's why I say that,
Oh
because
my
like,
God, engineers, man. I'm afraid to even be around them if I'm
yeah,
working on
yeah.
a beat. I had an engineer behind me once when I was mixing a beat, and I'm just sweating. I'm like, man, get out of here, bro. Like, I don't need you. I'm sitting, and he's looking. And goes, what are you? I'm like, is it not okay to pan my hi hat? He goes, no, it's cool. Go ahead. Let me make my damn mistakes. So anyway, once again, man, thank you so much for taking the time to have this conversation. I'm going to talk to you. Hopefully, we can have a part two sometime in 2021 to talk about your big ass royalty checks from Drip Report and you know your next YouTube benchmark, and we can dive deeper into all of that, answer some more questions from the community, and have another good conversation, man. But I really appreciate it. Shout out to everyone that tuned in. This was a very well attended session. Hope that continues. Dame will be on Monday at 3 p.m. I'll be back next Thursday, same time, same place, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on BeatStars Live. Peace, everyone.